my boogie down Bronx sister in New York, you definitely need to check this movie out because it, unlike The Matrix, which is to me the standard of a lot of the things that we're going to talk about because it's real and it's also metaphoric. Divergent is dealing with the Matrix within its own right, but it is set in a more physical realm versus going back and forth as the movie Matrix did between your mind and the physical world. So this is a very, very heavy movie. And again, as Steve Coakley, the Human Encyclopedia said, if you want to get to know white folks, white supremacy, study their movies. And this is one of the movies that came out. It's also based on a book that was written by a white female who was heavy into psychology when she was in college. And she wrote it, I think, when she was 22, the first Divergent movie. So there's some symbolism that we're going to get into within that. So the next question, what are the groups, which they call them factions, but what are the groups that make up this new country, this new world in the movie?
So what you had the Fearless.
What were they called?
They were the
Dauntless.
Yeah, the Dauntless.
The Erudites, the Dauntless, the is
The
abnegation. Is that right?
Yeah, who
these words are very strange.
Yeah.
And the ones who care for the other people. And then the other one.
Yeah, I don't know the names.
Them five.
Yeah. The people who thought they knew everything,
what were they called?
The police. I don't know.
Those are the erudites, right? The smart ones?
That's the erudite.
That's the erudites, yeah.
All right.
And then
who else? It's a few more we missed.
So erudites, abnegation, the police.
You named
the Dauntless.
You had the, let's see. Yeah, the smart ones, the kind ones.
They didn't really talk about the other two that much.
The Fearless.
I'm about to go to Google and cheat. I don't know.
More.
The hardcore truth tellers were called who?
Oh, Candid.
Candor.
Candor, yeah, but that's not what they were called, right?
Yeah,
they were called Candor.
Yeah.
Candor.
Okay, cool.
And how about the farmers, the peaceful people?
Oh, wow. What were they called?
Beatniks.
they were called Amity.
Amity. Yeah.
Yeah. Did they really talk about them other than the introduction in the beginning?
No. Just a little bit.
Yeah, they didn't come back to the movie. I think they went out on break.
and we're gonna talk about that. So you had Amity, and then who else did you have?
That's the five, huh?
That's five.
Nope.
The Defiant.
The factionless.
Okay.
Which was very interesting to me because that could have been a group in and of themselves. Yeah, exactly. The factionless. Yeah.
They are a group.
They are a group.
Because I said, what are the groups that make up the new country?
Right.
Not what are the factions.
Right.
So so you got one more group.
The Defiant, huh?
Huh?
Oh, the Divergence.
Exactly.
Divergence. Yeah, those people. Divergent.
So in actuality, you have 7 groups.
7, right.
That make up the new country.
Yep.
But they don't count the factionless and they don't count the Divergent because the Divergent will undermine their program system. That's why they were trying to kill them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Divergence would then do what? Potentially wake up people,
everybody else,
in this group, and that would upset the balance of power within the overall system. Mm-hmm. Remember what Dr. Wade Noble said, the definition of power, the ability to define reality and have others respond to your definition
as if it were their own.
With their own.
Yep.
So the only people who will roll with that format are those who are a part of one of the 5 factions. But the 2 entities who do not, for whatever reason, want to roll with that, they are now going to be either factionless or divergent. And if they're divergent, we got to kill them because they'll mess our whole concept up.
Right, and destroy society, yeah.
Exactly. Now, when you do a search for the definition of each term, and I would suggest that you all do this because these people don't just come up with these words now. These words actually have meaning. Erudite, E-R-U-D-I-T-E, that means having or showing great knowledge. So these are pretty much going to be your intelligent thinkers, your power brokers, because they're focused on the acquisition of information. And that's why I said information and knowledge are 2 different things. I want to be very clear that just because you read a book, just because you read information in a magazine, just because you read information on social media, just because you hear something, that don't mean you got knowledge. That means you got information. So what is the difference between information and knowledge? Knowledge is the application of information that is understood and comprehended. Meaning that before you can acquire knowledge, you must have application of that which you have learned in order to prove that you've learned the information. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the erudite tapped into a lot of the information that the other factions were really not interested in, those micro details, and therefore, guess what? They controlled the information flow. If you had to look at erudite in today's format, they would be the people controlling the CIA, the FBI. They would be those entities who are part of think tanks, reading the books. They're the people that do that. And most people just go along with their daily routine, going to work, and they don't understand that they're being controlled by a lot of that and being monitored by a lot of that. These are the people who are the 5Gers. They are the creators of 5G and 4G and 3G. And guess what? They're going to create 6G and 7G. Those are erudite. Abnegation, the word means act of rejection or renouncing. And so they consider themselves to be selfless. And as the movie goes, the 2 entities who are locked in battle for power are the abnegation faction and the erudite faction. Because the erudite feel they know every goddamn thing, so it's like they should control everything. And abnegation doesn't want to go with a lot of the things that they're basically recommending. Dauntless means fearless or determined. So as Brother Tamani says, as we're putting the Black Gold Nation together, there are brothers who are fearless. There are sisters who are fearless. Those are the people that you put in defense of your city, in defense of your country. They're the law enforcement entities. They're your soldiers. Then you have candor, which means open, honest, frankness. Sometimes they are not as honest as they appear to be, but in this society, you have the judicial branch. And the judicial branch, the judges are supposedly the ones who are supposed to be that which is candor. But we know that's a lie because if you lack spirituality and right culture, I mean, you're a lie just as well as anybody else.
Right.
The position doesn't make you that. And then amity, like Brother Tamani said, they just, flash them briefly because hell, they don't count. They just they're just some nice go along ass people
Right.
who doing the farming and boom, they just feeling good. And then if you don't fit into any of them, then your ass is basically gonna be home. And you'll be out on the street running your street hustles. And of course, Divergent, that connects everything together within that overall situation. So that's what the movie is centered around, and that's not futuristic. That is present day. So the question is, can you see all of those groups in present day society?
Yeah, easily.
Other people?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Other folks?
Most definitely.
All right. Okay, so let's start with the main character. And we all know that, of course, similar to the movie Hunger Games, which this movie came out in 2010. Hunger Games came out in 2008. But similar to that movie series, that franchise, and similar to The Matrix, they're trying to make what female the standard of for all female.
The white girl.
Right.
Exactly.
White, blonde hair, blue eyes, whatever.
Exactly. So she gonna be the savior of the world in all the goddamn movies. But
she's awesome. Ain't she lovely?
and we got to understand that. So, but we know who the real savior of the world is, correct?
Black woman.
All right. And that's why it's important for the Black female to elevate and embrace her true power, her womanhood, so that she can reclaim her throne. Because for damn sure they're not going to do that in the movies, books that establish the propaganda for this society. Now, what was that character's name?
Beatrice.
Okay.
Beatrice, or Triss was her new name.
All right. She took on the name Triss after identifying with the Dauntless faction. Why did she take on that name?
That was when did the second half of her name?
Second half of the name,
That's
true.
what I was thinking.
Triss, Triss. Triss.
Ah, Triss. So look closely at that name. What do you see?
Try.
Ah, try deals with the number what?
3.
The number 3. So what does the number 3 mean?
More than 2, less than 4.
Trinity.
Is it the Trinity? We about to get biblical.
He has left the building.
Hold on. Deal with the number 3.
We already did.
I know, he left the building.
Bring your ass. Get back here.
Like, how does the teacher leave the building?
Laugh. What do? We throw spitballs, I guess.
Yeah, I know, right?
If we was in class, I'd be gone. Opportunity.
I know.
Out the door. I was that student. What? You're not gonna watch. I'm gonna show you why you need to watch. I'm gonna turn something over. I'm gonna mess up the desk. I'm gonna do something just because you ain't watching.
Yeah.
I need help. I'm gonna mess up 3 things. You know where I'm come back. That's what I'm gonna do.
I'm here. Okay. What did you say the number 3?
Tara said after 2 and before 4, but I
No.
didn't think that was right. So
I-
I'm thinking the Trinity, perhaps.
so it's the number of harmony, wisdom, and understanding.
She
Okay.
cheating. She Googled that. Come on, man.
Exactly.
Who knows that?
And that's good. That's
Past,
good.
present, and future.
Go ahead.
And it deals with the energy of kindness, joy, creativity, imagination. It represents inspiration, creation, manifestation, and growth. And that was that particular entity. So you get that number with Trinity in the matrix, and you get three within this. So that was the symbolism behind her name. So that's very important because it shows you that the white folks, when they're making these movies, they are heavy into numerology and to astrology, heavy into it. And these are the life sciences of our stolen legacy. And we need to be very, very aware of them.
Brother Craig, you said the life sciences of our what?
Of our stolen legacy.
Our stolen legacy. Okay, good. Gotcha.
Yeah, of our stolen legacy. Numerology, astrology, very important as we move forward. And while we're on the symbolism, Tobias, her love interest, they called him what in the movie?
4.
Why was he called 4?
Did it have something to do like the 4 regions?
Is it because he tried? I remember when he said it.
Oh, he had 4 fears.
That's
what it was.
interesting.
He had
What
4 fears.
word 4 fears?
Height,
Confinement,
confinement, his father.
and killing people.
Oh, boy, y'all good, man. I can give y'all an A in this class, boy. Height, shooting innocent, claustrophobia, and his father. And they showed that in the movie. But look at it. Although they showed that, the number 4 is a very significant number as well. Now, also, when he tested, like Trish tested, she tested and got how many of the factions was a part of her test?
It wasn't all of them?
3.
How many factions were part of her test?
His tribe, Trish. She tested and she was 3. Erudite, abnegation, and
Dauntless, okay.
So those are her. So when he tested, he got how many? 4.
4.
Erudite, abnegation, dauntless, and candor.
Okay.
So that was another reason he's 4. But now when you get behind the number 4 in supreme knowledge, it deals with the mind, body, spirit connection between those 3 entities and the physical world of structure and organization. And look at this. 4 also symbolizes the safety and security of home. And so he became her security blanket during the training and during his her time frame there. And then the need for stability and strength on a solid foundation of values and beliefs. So he represented all of those things, the fears, the 4 factions, and the actual supreme information behind the number 4. And this is something I want to spend a little time talking about and get everybody's perspective on, because the other thing about this movie from Trish's standpoint and also Ford's standpoint got into learning purpose. Is purpose important in life? Or, is this, how you're born, you're just there? Is purpose something that needs to be learned? Are you just born and however you're born, you just roll with it?
Oh, I think everybody's born with a purpose, but that purpose has to be developed because you rarely know that.
Exactly.
Especially as a child.
Exactly. Anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, you're born with it, but you just have to figure out what it is.
Exactly. Anybody else?
All people don't learn the same, so it's hard to force a child or test a child as far as being good at a certain thing when they might not have been tested the way they need to be tested or
Good point.
challenged the way they need to be challenged.
Good point.
Great, man. That's great.
Yeah.
So the T. While you reference that, let me stay on what you just referenced. So, what is the natural color of a diamond?
But what?
The
Diamond.
natural color of a diamond.
Black.
It's black.
Because it comes from coal.
So Jatik, how does it become this shiny thing that females want on their finger and in their ear and around their throat and on their big toe and around
After the I guess children mine it, I guess it goes to the processing plant where they
Pressure.
mine it and buff it
Pressure
and
test.
chop it up and grind it and buff it. And I don't know.
What's the process? What's the number one thing in the process?
Pressure.
Heat and pressure.
Oh, it got to go through some damn pressure, some heat. So heat is a good thing or a bad thing?
It depends on how hot it is.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on if you try to become shinier. He can be a bee sometimes, you know.
Donald Trump said heat is gonna kill the corona, so y'all better hope it get real hot.
He also said inject Lysol.
Right.
You keep listening to me if you want.
Yeah. Drink Lysol, inject it. What's the difference?
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, the natural color of a diamond is charcoal black, and it goes through the process, and the number one thing in that process is heat. You gotta have it, and that's why through struggle, the quote that I live by every single day, that is attributed to Frederick Douglass, is if there is no struggle, there's no progress.
That's right.
Those who profess to favor freedom yet deprecate agitation are men who want crops without plowing up the ground. They want rain without thunder and lightning. They want the ocean without the awful roar of its many waters. This struggle may be a moral one, or it may be a physical one, or it may be both moral and physical, but it must be a struggle. Power concedes nothing without a demand, never has, never will. Men may not get all they pay for in this world, but they most certainly will pay for all they get. That's the pressure for us going through the struggle. And a lot of people don't want to go through the struggle, and therefore they'll never elevate. As Jatik was saying, you don't push a child to struggle. You don't push that child to work hard. Then that child, in most instances, will never grow up to become who they need to become. Does anybody know what the symbol for erudite, the intelligent thinkers, the power brokers, you know what their brand symbol, their logo was?
No, I don't remember.
The third eye.
Third eye, Egyptian.
Yeah. So that was in there as well. So of course, this is all about tapping into your third eye, becoming empowered. And I'll give you guys my breakdown through Brother T, the 6 pillars of empowerment: spirituality, culture, education, economics, socioeconomics, and politics. But I was already, before this movie came out, defining a divergent as a hybrid. And that's what I was telling Brother Tamani. That's what we have to, a lot of us in the Black Gold Nation, movement. We have to become hybrid, meaning we can connect with the grassroots soldiers, the street hustlers. We can connect with the grassroots elders. We can connect with the sellout bourgeoisie Negro. We can connect with the corporate entities. And we got to be able to go between all of those worlds in order to help lead our people. And that is very important. All right, for $10 in your cash app, for $10 in your goddamn cash app, what are the 2 times, and my queen cannot answer this because she's
I was wondering.
Off mute.
She already know these answers.
Mute quick.
She ready to roll.
I'm like, what? I don't
$10,
know the answers.
for $10, what are the 2 times since mental excavation of the truth serum was a part of this movie in order to get you to identify your faction? What are the 2 times that a person tells the truth in the real world?
Okay, I can't answer.
I think one of those times was when was it the second phase of training when they were when they get into your head? Was that the first time?
Well, see, that's the truth serum, not the movie, but in the real world that we're in right now.
I'm sorry. Ask me the question again. I misunderstood.
What are the 2 times that a person will tell the truth in the real world that we're in right now?
Hell, when their life is being threatened.
Nah, they're lying.
And Sunday at church. I don't know.
Babies and drunks.
That might be subjective.
Okay, so what did you see?
Babies and drunks, little children and drunk people.
That's interesting. When you're drunk and when you're a child, okay, I'll kind of go with the child thing, but it's one more. I'll give you $10. Anybody else?
The 2 times in your life that you tell the truth. That's what you're asking, right?
Yeah. She got definitely when you're drunk. I mean, children lie too, but
I know mine do. My son is awesome.
they tell the truth more than they lie, but that's one aspect of it. One more. I got it. On your deathbed. On your deathbed? Nah.
That's not it? You ain't got nothing to lose, man. What tell the truth?
Man, people go to their grave and come to the damn and they be having 34 children and shit. And their obituary is still saying they had 1 child.
I think you tell the truth when you don't have the fear of the consequences.
No fear of what?
The consequences.
Okay, so at what point is that? What? I like that. You're in the game.
Yeah. What state of mind are you in when you don't fear consequences?
When you don't fear.
Pardon me?
What state of mind are you in when you don't fear those consequences?
You're defiant. You're not fearful.
I know. And what state of mind are you in when you lack that fear?
Fearless state of mind. We don't know, damn it. Come on.
When you're angry.
When you're angry.
When you're angry.
Is that because you're not thinking?
Your mama should have never had your sorry ass in the first place. You're dumb.
You say stuff when you're angry.
You say stuff when you're angry. You're telling the truth. I didn't like your daddy any goddamn way.
That might be true.
No, that's true.
Yeah, because you're not thinking. You're just saying what you really feel. So that could carry some truth too.
Jenny said you now lack the fear. You're now fearless.
Right.
But see now, when you kick back in, what do you now do, Sister Jenny? When you're done,
kick back in. You think I'm gonna retract?
Would you please accept my forgiveness?
Start apologizing, huh?
Exactly. Now, simply bring that up because they went into the mind of the children with the truth seer. And it got me into thinking, what is the actual truth serum in the real world? And that is, as Jatik said, definitely one of those is when you're intoxicated. And the other one is when you are angry. But children do when they're real little. When they're real little and they're inquisitive, they will tell the truth. When you don't like it, oh, mama, she's fat. Oh,
Do
mama.
I need to, excuse me. Do I send you my cash app now or you want to wait
Break
till
it
later
down.
on?
That's right. Do your thing, sister. Get that money.
I'm gonna have to send you $5 and I'm gonna have to send you $5. So y'all send me your cash. I'll swing y'all. Now, did you all ever watch the movie Minority Report with Tom Cruise?
Yeah. I've seen it.
That movie gets into what I'm just talking about. They tried to prevent crime, and it was all about going into the mind of the potential criminal before the crime was committed. And now your ass get arrested for just having thoughts of committing the crime.
Right.
Wow.
That's how they prevent. That's the only way you're gonna prevent crime any damn way. You can't prevent crime any other way. Okay. Now, at what age did the children start to find out, do their faction test?
They were teenagers, right?
What age?
I think their 16th birthday.
There you go, 16th birthday. Tell me, why was that number significant? Who said 16?
I did, Jatik.
Okay, Jatik, so why was 16 so important? Why is that number important?
I can't answer that.
Is it 1 + 6 = 7?
Well, it does equal 7. But in numerology, the number 16 resonates with wisdom, independence, and family. It's wise, intuitive, and tends to be independent. The number 16 is both spiritual and analytical, a philosopher with sound arguments. So in essence, this is the beginning of your embarking on that journey. And if we look at the number 7, the number 7 symbolizes the unity of the 4 corners of the earth with the Holy Trinity. So the 7 typically equals so-called the Creator, so-called God, and whatnot. So that number 16 was very important. All right. What else? Okay. This is pretty much, and we can discuss anything else in the movie, but this is now getting to be interesting. Who likes Michael Jordan and who likes LeBron James?
The older generation likes Jordan, and the younger generation, LeBron is king.
All right. Tara?
I'm guessing, of course.
I would say Michael Jordan. He's a little arrogant, but you know.
So you like
Jordan
better than LeBron?
Yeah.
All right.
Wait. When you say who likes, you mean us on the call, or you mean like in general, what type of people?
In general, who you like better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
Oh, yeah, I'm cool with both of them.
Okay, Sister Jenny.
Oh, most definitely LeBron.
Okay. Sister Jatik.
I don't know neither one of them. I'm not in this circle.
How you not know who Michael? Stop, girl. You know who Michael Jordan is. Stop it.
I don't know him personally.
Now.
I don't know him personally.
Well, none of us do.
I have more of a I guess a brand affinity to Jordans because, like you said, just because of the age. But I can take them or leave them.
Okay, all right, Sister Tamika. Are you still there? Sister T? Sister Shaniqua? Now, I asked that question because the debate rages on between those two brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tie this in to the movie. The premise, and it just kind of shows
Yes,
how.
I'm here. I'm sorry.
Okay, who do you prefer, Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
LeBron.
Okay, good go. And I'm asking this question in relationship to this movie because this is a perpetual debate. And I can get it, you know, but when I hear people echo Michael Jordan, they really have no objectivity when they're arguing Michael Jordan over LeBron James. And I'm gonna tie this in to Trish and in this movie. When Trish started her training with Dauntless, she was number what after the first day?
She's the last one at the bottom. She's definitely below the line. I don't know. I'm not sure if they gave her an actual number though. They did. I missed it. Was it 66?
Her ass was last.
Okay.
Yes, she was last. She was dead last.
Okay.
She was dead last. But she ended up qualifying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
How was she able to qualify?
She was passing the test.
What did she?
Right? She was fighting better. She was training. I'm assuming she was
She had
studying.
to fake it.
She didn't fake it.
Now she ain't fake.
Yeah, she was getting better with the training and the fighting and whatnot.
Yeah, but the way she passed the last test was when she.
Didn't Ford help her?
Ford did give her some consultation.
He gave her some guidance.
Yeah.
Got it.
On how to act like she was one of them.
Oh, he told her how to pass the test as far as discovery, so that they don't know that you are divergent.
Right.
Is that what you're referring to?
Well, I mean that's a part of her passing the test, but the big thing is somebody said when we began to call about overcoming fear.
Yeah.
Okay. So she overcame the fear of what?
She didn't have any fear. Matter of fact, her fear was a strength, right?
Being beat.
Huh?
Being beat.
The fear of what, Sister Jenny?
Of being beat.
Of being beat. You're
B-E-A-T.
Yeah, you're in the game. So by
Losing. Losing.
There you go.
Another $5.
She overcame the fear.
She got a calculator.
She overcame the fear of losing. So that means she embraced what?
The pain, the pressure.
In order to win, in order to succeed in life, you must be willing to embrace what?
Fear?
The pain.
Failure.
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 So you can't be successful. You can't succeed in anything if you're afraid to fail.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
You have to embrace failure. So when we talk about LeBron James and Michael Jordan, the premise is Michael Jordan never failed, which is a lie.
Yeah.
Big lie.
I don't believe that. Yeah.
And they say, oh, well, he never failed. We ain't saying he never failed, but he always won. His team always won the championship when they got to the championship series. But how do you get to a championship game, Brother T?
By winning more than you lose.
By winning more than you lose, you got to go through a tournament.
Yeah.
Right. Trials and tribulations.
Now, Sister Tyra has two sons. They both play basketball. And they're pretty good. And she is the ultimate AAU mom. I'm talking about she go everywhere with that. Mexico, Portugal. you know, Calabasas, you know, she go everywhere.
All right.
And they play in these tournaments, and they have about 1 million games before you can get to the championship game. But guess what? You don't always get to the championship game. So you got to be willing to fail. LeBron James has gone to the NBA Finals 9 out of the 17 years that he's been in the league. That's a phenomenal record. That alone on the court puts him at my all-time greatest. Off the court, there's no match. But LeBron was willing to embrace failure. Coming from an impoverished community, doing the things that he's done, and that is just like Trish in this movie. She was willing to.
I have a point I'd like to make.
Okay.
Are you saying that in from your perspective, LeBron is greater because he got to the dance more often than Jordan? Is that what you say?
He not only got to the dance more often, he led his squad in many instances where Jordan, over the same time frame, could not even get out of the first round.
So he got to the dance more, but Jordan, when he did get there, he won more.
The dance is the tournament.
Right.
It's not the championship game.
Okay, so you're saying LeBron is better in your opinion because he got to the tournament, as opposed to when Jordan actually got there, he won more.
When Jordan, so let's take it like this. When Jordan first came in the league, Jordan's teams had losing records his first 3 years.
Okay.
He still made the playoffs. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, they had a losing record and they still made the playoffs.
Okay.
What happened in the first 3 years of the playoffs when he was there?
I'm assuming they didn't win.
They got knocked out in the first round.
Okay.
Jordan didn't start winning, just having a winning record, let alone winning the first playoff game until Scottie Pippen came in his 4th year. Are you following where I'm going with this?
I think so.
LeBron James never had a Scottie Pippen.
Right.
In his first 7 years with Cleveland.
Okay.
He only linked up to an all-star caliber player when?
Dwayne Wade?
When he got with Dwayne Wade.
And they won twice, right?
And they won twice out of 4 times.
Right.
They went to the NBA Finals 4 out of the 4 years that he was there.
Right.
That was when he went to Miami?
And that's when he went to Miami. But in his 4th year in Cleveland, he led his team without another all-star caliber player to the NBA Finals. Michael Jordan could not even get out of the first round of the playoffs.
I got you. Okay.
See, the dance isn't winning the championship. The dance is the tournament.
Gotcha.
And what you do when you're in the tournament. We place so much focus on winning in this society that we don't see the beauty in people who are willing to embrace failure in order to move. Trish wasn't the number one entity through training, but she got above the cutoff point, but she started at the bottom.
So you're saying it's about the journey and not the destination?
It's about the journey. It's about the journey. What you do when you're tested. Are you going to stay at the bottom or are you going to start to rise?
Not to belabor the point, but I don't think anybody on that level is not willing to embrace failure. I think if that were the case, they wouldn't be there.
Well, so when you hear comments like LeBron should not even be mentioned in the conversation as the greatest because he's been to the dance, to the final part of the dance 9 times and he's only won 3. But Jordan has went 6 and won 6.
Right.
If you're dealing with it from that simplistic standpoint, that makes no sense.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Because and then they'll disrespect Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant and all of the other teammates.
Right.
Because most of what we're doing is a team sport.
Has to be, right? You're right.
And what are we doing with the Black Gold Nation?
Building groups, baby. Gotta have a team.
You gotta have a goddamn
Got
team.
to have a team.
And we need Sister Jenny, we need Sister Shaniqua, we need Sister Tamika, we need Sister Zatique, and we need this chick by the name of Tyra.
I was with you till you said that. I don't know. Huh? We got a background check. We'll let you know.
Be thorough. Be thorough.
And that chick got some skills.
Right.
But it's all about building a team.
Yes, sir.
But it's all about, I was told in 1985 by this white guy at a leadership conference, in order to succeed, you must first fail. And Brother T, when he said it, I looked at him and I said, that is one crazy cracker.
What?
Like, you gotta fail. And I'm looking, I'm like, man, I ain't never failed.
That's
I'm
right.
Like,
I'm a gangster. Craig Lee.
there's
There's Jesus and there's me.
God damn it. Jesus, Moses, and me.
That's right.
And so he kept on talking. He said, in order to succeed, you must first fail because through failure, you gain experience. And experience becomes your roadmap to success.
Right.
He said, you show me any millionaire or billionaire, and I'll show you someone who has failed repeatedly. I'll show you someone who has filed bankruptcy multiple times. I'll show you someone who has not been afraid of taking risks. Okay? So I'm saying this as we're dealing with this corona crisis, looking at this movie, and everybody gets hyped up on your credit score. I was telling Tyra about this. I was like, fuck a credit score.
Word.
Fuck a credit score.
Word.
Because a damn 800 credit score ain't gonna do nothing but allow you to
Get more debt.
More debt.
Man, it's a game, baby. It is a game. It's a
goddamn game. And black people be, ooh, I gotta get my credit score. Because I gotta get more shit. But at the end of the day, will they give you $100, $200, $500,000 with that 800 credit score in order to start your own goddamn business?
Right. Got to use it.
Okay? So you got to be willing to take risks in this game. You got to be willing to embrace failure in this game. So Trish was willing to embrace failure. And they told her as, hey, man, what? She said, what happened? How long have I been here? You got knocked the fuck out.
That's right. A day.
She was doing good at first.
Yep.
But oh boy, knocked her ass out. And so what did she say? They say, hey, man, the fear, Sister Jenny said it, the fear of being factionless, the fear of being in poverty. God damn it, Trish said it ain't gonna happen to me.
Yeah.
Hold up, I'm coming.
Right.
So a whole ruptured spleen and a damn broken calf muscle. She started running for that goddamn train. Because that goddamn fear of being on them streets. She was like, I ain't having it. And so that's how she actually ended up. And now when they got to the place where the Ferris wheel was at, she said, hey, we need to get to a high vantage point so we can see where they're holding the flag. So this is when we find out about Ford's fear of what?
Heights.
Exactly. Now, I don't blame him on that. Now, if that was me and Tara, her ass would have just been up there.
Let me know what you see. Good
No,
luck, Tara.
I'd have gone up there.
She would have went. Trust me, brother. She would have went. Because her ass has gone in Jamaica up the hills to get some damn ganja.
Why you telling that woman's business? She might not want us to know that. Come on now.
Hey, I ain't saying.
They say whatever, huh? It is of the earth.
Absolutely. It's from the creator.
She 420 like a mug.
Absolutely.
But this is what this is all about. We have to be willing to overcome fear. We have to pursue our purpose. We have to embrace the journey. I don't give a goddamn how many times you perceptively fail. You're not failing.
Right.
You're doing is experiencing.
Right. You're learning.
You're learning, God damn it.
Yep. And you know what's powerful about that, Brother Craig, is the more you try to do what you really feel you should be doing, though you don't see it as failure. You see it as learning lessons. Well, like Cat Williams said, try that, didn't work, try it again. Try that, didn't work, try it again. So you keep trying because you realize that don't work. But it's not failure in and of itself. It's a lesson.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And,
perspective matters.
And it's so interesting. Our colleague who is on from the Bronx, I used to date this sister up in Brooklyn, and she once asked me, being an entrepreneur, I was discussing this deal that I had done, and these people hadn't paid me. And she said, "How do you live every day not knowing that when you do work, people, might not pay you?"
Right.
And I bust out laughing. And she said, "Why are you laughing? I'm being very serious." I say, "This is why you and I could never be together." And she said, why do you say that?" And I say, "Sister, you go to work every day believing that your ass is gonna get paid."
That's right. The same exact thing.
The same.
Yeah, and Brother Craig, what's so funny about that is that those of us who have the entrepreneurial spirit, we think of it as, I'd rather have multiple employers than just one. Increase my chance of getting paid from several people as opposed to one employer.
Look, man.
Uh-huh.
I work for three entities. I'm an entrepreneur, but I work for three entities. I work for the creator, I work for the ancestors, and I work for my people. And I've been doing this for 25 years. I am very good at what the fuck I do. And in 25 years, neither the creator, nor the ancestors, nor my people, even though a lot of them are retarded as hell, they have never failed me in this damn journey. And that's why I embrace what we're doing in terms of building the Black Gold Nation, because it is the macro version of what I've been working on here in the city of Shreveport. And as we analyze these movies, as we analyze books, as we have discussions on documentaries to strengthen our information base, our understanding and comprehension of the information, our knowledge, our personal wisdom, and our understanding. It has been a wonderful journey to detach from the matrix and learn this how to maneuver over these past 25 years. It really has. And although these past few weeks have been very difficult with me losing my business partner of 20 years, my grassroots colleague, also 25 years, the same day that Tara lost her dad. And I just got a funeral to go to tomorrow. Another mentee of mine who died of the coronavirus just on Monday. Although this has been difficult, I've embraced the journey because these are people who have impacted my life. Because one thing I learned, there is no such thing as a self-made man or self-made woman.
Right.
All that's bullshit.
Right.
Anybody who says that they're self-made, they're lying.
Yep.
And that's the thing about being a divergent or being a hybrid. You embrace all of these life lessons and you're not stuck into any one category. Now, that's not going to be everybody, okay? But the divergent person appreciates, respects everybody, regardless of what faction or group or situation you're in, even the homeless, right? And that's really where we're at. But a lot of you who have divergent or hybrid capacity, we need you involved in what we're doing with the Black Gold movement, because you're seeing with this coronavirus how serious it is for our people to finally come together. And again, through the Matrix, through the Hunger Games, through Divergent series, the number one entity who has led the way has been the cracker female. For us, it has to be the Black female elevating into her womanhood. You all have the power of leadership. This ain't about you all being in no damn kitchen 24/7, being in no bedroom 24/7, raising children 24/7. You also have a talent, a skill, and ability to help transform the world. And working in partnership with talented, enlightened, and conscious brothers, we can rock and roll and do a phenomenal job together. Now, that concludes all I have for the Divergent. It's not as deep as The Matrix. It's a good movie, but not as deep. But any questions, any final comments about the film?
I have a comment about what you just said, not the film, but the statement you just made. I of course believe that to be true, and I think that's where a lot of our brothers miss the mark, because we are so I don't know, we're so pro-Black, testosterone laden, some misogynistic that we miss the fact that we wouldn't be here were it not for our women. And I don't think we fully understand the power that female energy and spirit brings to the table. So if we're not trying to have her right by us, and in some instances ahead of us, so that we can support her, we will most certainly lose. So I think that's a very, very, very valuable point, Brother Craig, that a lot of our brothers miss, because we're caught up in the white man's way of thinking, which is the man has to be the head all the time in every situation, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Which is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
I told Tara that I appreciate her willingness to grow and learn, and I'm willing to go through whatever fire we have to go through together. That's very important, and she needs to be elevated because there's leadership that she has, and she has not tapped in. And my job is to, I call it three things: unlock, unleash, and activate her spiritual power so that she can tap into her third eye so that she can learn her purpose in life.
Yep.
If a brother is not doing that for a sister, his punk ass needs to move around.
You got to go, brother. you are in the way.
And if his punk ass ain't gonna move around, the sister needs to move him around by moving her goddamn self around.
Yeah.
Because these movies, whether it's Trinity, as we discussed last week, she wasn't gonna get with no damn Cypher.
Right.
She was trying to get with the one.
Right.
This chick here wasn't gonna get Tris wasn't gonna get with that shit talking white boy.
Right.
She was trying to get with Foe. Okay? And so a sister who starts to get this can see that I gotta be cultivated and led by a brother who is willing to embrace me as a teammate. Okay?
Yeah.
Anybody else? Sister Jenny, Sister GT, comment?
Absolutely. $5. But no, seriously.
That's right, sister. Stay on that, brother. You made that promise.
I want to give me your cash now.
You can recycle mine back into the movement.
Oh, so you need my cash out.
Look, but you know what? I love the fact about the resistance. That's the main thing I pick up out of the movie is a lot of times we, especially as women and then double as Black women, when something is brought to us, when we resist it, we get a lot of times, not just I think with us, well, let me speak for me. A lot of times when you stand up for something that is done wrong towards you or your people in general, the battle comes within more than it comes without. You expect the people outside of you to, attack what you're doing, but the people you think are supposed to embrace and help you with the movement, that's when the struggle comes in, but you have to resist even those people that are around you. I think as we talked earlier about sometimes, just shedding yourself away from people who are not like-minded, I guess we would think about that.
Okay. Sister GT?
What was the question? just as far as what I think about what you just said, just as far as the state of womanhood as far as the movement is concerned.
Exactly, and paralleling that to the movie.
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing is, and I've always said that everybody has different strengths, and it's just using that as far as what you need to be able to do. So as far as womanhood, I can say as far as myself, is gender roles have always been a issue as far as relationships, as far as the man-woman relationship, things like that. Because, I like to be outside. I like to put things together, things like that. Whereas usually the men in my family or the men I've dealt with, they cook better than I do, but the men I've come in contact with, they have the older stereotypes. Well, I'm supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. And it has caused friction. So, my whole state of being is just as far as, how people relate to each other. Everybody has different talents that need to be utilized, and I've said that, that's an issue in the movie. That's an issue in real life. And just as far as what you were saying, as far as, the machismo and things like that, it can get in the way of things. So, either you just try to do the best you can to relate to everybody that you can and try to, put yourself in other people's shoes and, just understand that just because somebody thinks differently, that's not right or wrong. It's just, it could be many things, how they were brought up, the things they've been through, or, just a whole conglomeration of things.
Isn't that amazing, though, how based on the matrix structure that someone who is supposed to be your soulmate, your teammate in this battle, isn't it amazing how they can be programmed to take on the same mindset of the architects, engineers of the system to work against you? and in some instances, the sister against the brother, and we're all in the same. Isn't that amazing?
Right, and it was this particular incident. You know, I have 3 girls, so in a way, I was kind of glad that number one, I did raise them with a lot of influence, because that would cause trouble too. You know, people kind of questioning, why are you raising them like that? Why don't you have them doing such and such? Where, you know, that wasn't their forte. You know, my girls have grown up learning how to cook and do makeup. I didn't teach them that, but those were the things they were interested in, or those were, you know, the things that they were, you know, did well. You know, so I just believe that if you give people a chance, they'll find what they're good at, and they'll find their skill set.
Mm-hmm. Sister Shaniqua. Sister Tara.
What's the question?
Yeah, basically closing thoughts about um, black the evolution of black females not being stifled, not being put in a box. Simply y'all's role being
Right.
cooking, cleaning, sex, and having children, but
Right.
not leading.
I think. Well, I've never had that problem with being stifled or put in a box. You know, it's worked for me and it's worked against me in some ways, but it hasn't necessarily. It's made me smarter. It hadn't necessarily changed me, but it's made me smarter. It's made me more aware of who I am. It's made me more selective. Um, and I do believe, I don't think men and women are created equal. I don't think we're intended to be equal. I don't think that everything a man does, a woman should be able to do, and everything a woman does, a man should not be able to do. I do think that we have roles. Duties, you know, is one thing, but I think roles in life are very different. Um, that's it.
Okay. Anybody else? All right.
Please.
Yeah, come on. Hit me, sis. I'm waiting on you, Bronx. I'm waiting on you, Bronx.
uh,
What's your thoughts, Sister?
I think and I don't want to step on nobody's toes. I know I have a lot of respect for old school um frame of thought, and just practice for what kept them together, the good parts. I leave alone what hasn't helped us, and what has, been passed down from one family to the next one generation to the next, that wasn't necessarily helpful. So with that being said, I think that anything um, prior to what we've been introduced to, maybe at least going back to our great grands, if we could get back that far, or our our grandparents and ancestral practice and tradition outside of the U.S. Hold on, Bubia. Um, is necessary so that we could adopt, and if we need to introduce a new way of being, we can write that up. We're not. I don't think we're quarantined, right? To the, or should be, or feel quarantined to the ideals and the ideologies and practice of Western ways of being, including religion. I'm not religious, and I'm talking about practicing Christianity, Muslim, any of
Yeah,
those. I don't accept, and I was raised that way, and I
yeah,
still respect anybody that does,
yeah,
right? Because we all come to our path of knowledge and being on, on our own, and when it's the right time.
yeah,
But I found it to be a mean of separation. It causes a lot of separation, confusion, and things that when you take out um, those concepts, and you see that we all have the same needs, and we still could meet them, whether we believed in the same thing or not, a lot more can get done. So
Mhm.
with that being said, it all boils down to respect. So I think that when it comes to how the sister should be, um, seen, it should be with the utmost respect if we are dependent to bring upon nations and teach them and nurture them and feed them. This is a great responsibility. And the men that we make those nations with need to know also how much they are valued, what their responsibilities are, why they should take it with such honor. And a lot of that has nothing to do with anything we've been taught in Western society. So
True.
how do you gain that back? Well, listen, start with the best places that are emphasizing and practicing that, and create these charts and get these little manhood programs going. Get these sisterhood programs, womanhood programs going. What is it called? The that they do in Africa a lot, in different parts. Rites of passage.
Yeah, right to pass.
Get, right. We need to get rites of passage, going. We need to have the healing circles. We need to meet, every Sunday, every Saturday, whatever day it is in your community, or maybe once a month. Our people is overwhelmed, right? You can't get people to get together for one thing respectfully. So let's not overdo it. But I, I say that if you could come to work every day, you could come one day to with your family, your community, and your people for your betterment, because it'd be more benefit than where you attend probably every day. So with that being said, my thing is to practice respect. What is real genuine respect? What is real genuine building? That's quality building. We're not getting together, and we're not violating or dismissing anyone that is more knowledgeable, not knowledgeable. What are we really taking into contempt and consideration as we build? Are we trying to feed and help the people that when we did build, we see didn't have it put together, or with a good understanding? Did we receive them with love? Did we pull them to the side, make sure they understood, or even try to build better on our oaths for what we didn't understand, why they were so confused and didn't understand? That type of stuff to me is genuine respect for your people, because you don't think you above and beyond what you can give to somebody or need to give to them. And I've come across a lot of that. So you know, it's just to me a matter of real respect. And I was telling my children the other day at the table, I said the difference between a lot of other ethnicities and African American people, or the Africans that are here in America, right, is that when they build economically, they don't ask the questions we do. What they do is they get that money, however they're going to get it. It's not even a question that they have to go get it. There's no discussion. I know I have to go get a job. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to go get the money. We're going to come back to the table, and all the money gets put in the middle of the table. They don't have those quarrels about, well, you put in 50 and I put in 20, well, you put in more, well, I put in more, so I'm going to get more. All the money goes into the middle of the table, especially with Mexicans. I have Mexican friends, and they used to have me cracking up. But the way that they talk, the things that they argue about is not the stuff that we argue about. All that money get put in the middle of that table. They know they got to pay the rent. That money gets taken off collectively. They know they have to eat. That money gets taken off collectively. They know that they have, to buy utensil, small things. That money gets taken off collectively. So at the end of the day, when the money at the end is left, they split that up equally, and they just look to go and make sure they invest some of that also into what they all need and can all benefit from. Not one person, but all of them. And when we get that down pat to a science, our meetings will be way more beneficial and fruitful. And we'll talk about much more action and what we're going to do to, like, the next day. Like tomorrow, we're filling out a form to go open up this LLC. Like the day after that, someone's putting and going to get a bank account, and we're not arguing about the $300 getting put up. One who put up the 100, 200, 300. I'll put it up today. I can't put this up this week. I'll put this up next week. Okay, we'll set a date to it. is getting done, that's it. It's done. It is getting put to fruition. The thing is, we don't respect each other enough or
And why,
believe in each other enough
and
sometimes.
why, and why is that?
Conditioning, and also not just conditioning, but imaging. And I'm big on imaging. The things you see your people do or don't do, the way you see your people, those images in your mind distort how you want to deal and build and communicate with your people, even yourself. When those images lack respect, when those images lack a certain honorable connection to them, you know, this is why you think white people are more better, or their businesses are better. They're doing the same thing you could be doing. What make it so much better?
So
Or you
since you
think,
see, so since you
huh?
see those same images, why are those images not having the same impact on you as other African descendants in America?
Exactly. And that's the social conditioning that I don't deal with, because
Okay,
it
so
don't have an impact on me.
how did you break away? What happened where you can see those same images, that same imaging, but it doesn't impact you?
Well, what I was given at some point was a knowledge of myself and a confidence of myself from a young age. First, it was the confidence. I was always told I was different. I could do whatever I wanted to do, and to always be positive. Right? My mother was an educator. My father can read. My father came here as an immigrant. My grandmother passed away with a green card and worked in this country all her life. So it was certain things that I had from younger, and I was just a rebel naturally. I'm not gonna lie. I'm born February 19th. And I'm a humanitarian. A lot of bubble like thoughts for me. You know, I live in a bubble world. So that doesn't apply to me. I you know, if that's not what makes everybody happy or is fair and just, I'm not supporting it. I'm not with it. But that's a natural innate thing. But besides that, my cultivation, a lot of that was to not allow people or things to that are taught to you to brainwash you. Think for yourself. I was given that very early as a child in my youth growing up from my parents. Think for yourself. So when I thought, I really took that to heart. Does that make sense? Is that right? Is that fair? Can this person is this equal for this person as it is for that person? And does it make everyone happy? Because I firmly believe we all have the right and can be happy, even those that we think don't deserve it. Now, how you go about that may be a whole nother way. And sometimes war is love. And at the end of the day, that's a whole nother subject matter. But what makes distinct for me, how those images that are negative don't turn what I see about our people into negativity, is because I have respect, and I know that our people are capable, and I do believe in us, and I know we are superior. So when you know something, as opposed to you're trying to believe it, so you have to find a way to make those things a fact in your mind. I don't think, I know. And I know that from self first. I put myself in that position first. Am I that great? What have I done so great? And those things for me are factual just from looking at myself. So I'm not swayed to believe anything different about anybody else that comes in front of me, because I have respect for myself in that way. So I respect everybody I encounter that way. And that's a character thing.
Where's your dad from?
Guatemala.
So, what I'm hearing from you, because you were raised in a non-religious structure.
Well, it was religious, very religious. It was very religious. I
Okay,
broke away.
when did you break away?
Huh?
What year did you break away? How old were you?
When I went to college, when I enrolled at Lehman College, I became a double major, and one of the majors I took just to learn about myself. That was Lehman College as a at the time Black Studies major. They changed it to African Studies.
So you were 18?
Yeah, 18. Having my first child out of high school too.
Wow.
I got pregnant my last year of high school, and pregnant the whole year, and they was trying to kick me out. The two teachers would hide me and keep me in the school until I could graduate. And I graduated with honors and
Wow.
went to college. And when I did, I took Black Studies as a major just to learn about myself. I had no intentions of using it. I didn't think it could be used anywhere. So
Yeah.
but I took it in double major because I took college course classes in high school.
Wow.
And when I came in, it allowed me to, you know, have a little more extra time. And I finished early too. I finished a year and a half doing a double major. That's why I tell people, don't let them lie to you. Like, don't be discouraged. You know, believe in yourself and just do what comes to your heart. And my other major was sociology because I wanted to be able to study our people, to help our people, and do the way they do it on the scientific levels they do it. So I learned a whole lot in sociology about some real serious mathematical breakdowns and social studies that go way beyond what we are we understand. And if we used it that way, oh my goodness, we could the stuff that you can get from off the sentence is crazy. It's not even just looking at, oh, who lives here, who lives there. It's very intricate. It's extremely intricate.
So how old are you now?
Shoot, I forget. I think I just turned 30, 37.
I searched for you.
Somebody knows in the background.
Yeah, somebody knows. You get
You've been on your path, your direct path, for 19 years now.
just about.
So how long did it take you, starting at the age of 18, to divorce yourself from religiosity?
As soon as I got into one class,
That was it.
that was it. I was done with all the other teachings, and with respect to my parents, you know, I still
Yeah.
respected what they believed in, but yeah,
Exactly.
huh?
I said exactly. So you got the spirituality down. You unlocked, unleashed, and activated that, and then you had a cultural connection that was slightly different, well, a lot different than just growing up in the United States, to your father.
Well, my mom too. She's Sierra Leone, West African,
Oh, so
Bayesian.
you double know.
Yeah. Bayesian, and she Blackfoot Chippewa Cherokee, what they call Chippewa. My grandfather's father name was Nook. They came from, I think it was Pete Philip. Is it Philly? Because he built the railroads out down there when he was 14.
Okay.
The stories and accounts that my aunt has very vividly, pictures and everything. I need to get a hold of that stuff. But yeah, and he's a Purple Heart 16-year war vet. I
Okay.
don't have I don't, even though they got caught up in religion, they carried a lot of their cultural ways. So
Yeah.
it's almost like I got caught and put in religious teaching deliberately to be able to refine me with what I would be out of and need to be able to use anyway. So when I was teaching my people, I could have a great understanding. That's all that was, I think, universally speaking, because my dad and my grandma follow so much stuff that was like, you know, from culturally speaking, like the spiritual stuff, the healing stuff, and I'm into that. I have abilities to do that, to do that stuff. So it was like, what was the purpose of the universe putting me in a Seventh-day Adventist church for years? And I'm talking about, I was intense with it. I went to church 7 days a week. 7
Okay.
days a week. I was in the ministry. I was a deacon, an elder. I was a crusader. I did sermon. I visited, like I was one of those youth that when me and my sister used to come to the Boys and Girls Club on Hoare Avenue, 173rd, which one of the first Renaissance ball players worked there for years, and he passed, and he said, you and your sister, they used to call us church girls. That's how much we used to talk about church. We were vegans. I grew up as a vegan. And so like, cause Seventh-day Adventists don't eat meat. So I'm like, what the heck? What was the purpose of what was the purpose of all of that for me to come out, you know, and then come away? But of course, when you put piece the things in your life together that happen in the time frames that they happen, it's not by accident.
Well,
Right.
the beautiful thing is, as I turn this over to Brother T for the closing, you have just revealed a lot of talent that you and the T and and Sister G and Tyra and you know other sisters will be bringing to this movement, and all of those skills that you cultivated in the past, and all of you all cultivated in one way, shape, form, or fashion. We want you to exercise that, and I can tell you, speaking as the national director for our governmental policy, um, we will embrace all of y'all's talent, whether it's like Trinity in the Matrix, Tris in Divergent, Shirley Chisholm, whatever. We want to see the sisters elevate because we know that you all have skills beyond giving birth, beyond cooking, beyond cleaning, and whatnot, and we embrace that. All right, Brother T.
Thank you.
All right.
In closing, it's only the three of us left. Actually, Jadik's still there. Okay, four of us. So Sister Shaniqua, everything that you said, we believe, and what Brother Craig just said, we believe. We're not just talking about finding our sisters that want to do something and supporting them. We believe that we do it every day, and we understand and realize that if we don't do that, then we cannot win. So I don't want you to think that we're joking, because we're not. I don't want you to think that we're just giving you lip service, because we're not. And we sure as hell aren't doing it just because you're a female, because we don't have that kind of time. So if you want to build with a group that's serious about building, then we invite you to join us. And I've been trying to bring you on board for a minute. We understand and believe that we have some very, very, very serious issues that if we don't face in an organized, constructive, intelligent fashion, then we are most certainly running the risk of becoming a permanent underclass in the country that we built. And that is not a joke. So everything we do for that reason and that purpose, to bring Black people together to build, because nobody's going to do it for us, and you already know that. So with that, thank you guys for being a part. I sincerely appreciate it. We're going to do this every Saturday at 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, where we are reviewing a movie to try and educate our people as to a different aspect of what it means to be Black in America and around the world, so that we can always find the right Black people and enough of the right Black people so that we can do what we need to do, because again, nobody's going to do it for us. So with that, closing out with the two things I always like to say. Always remember that no one can do everything, but if everyone does something, everything will get done. And absolutely, always remember that nothing is more sacred than the liberation and salvation of Black people. So with that, you guys have an absolutely wonderful Saturday. Thank you very much, and I'll see y'all soon.
All right.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.